Hey everyone, my name is Ron Virpin. I've been a home bartender for over 5 years now. I'm a full-time medical doctor, and I teach other busy professionals how to make cocktails at home. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make the Kansas City Ice Water. Now, the Kansas City Ice Water is admittedly a rather obscure cocktail that I have in my own arsenal. The reason it's so important to me is because I'm actually a huge fan of American football. And for those of you that are also football fans, you'll know that the Kansas City Chiefs have actually made the last three Super Bowls. Not only that, they've made 5 out of the last 6 Super Bowls. And for me personally, I absolutely love hosting Super Bowl parties. It's one of my favorite events, favorite things to do throughout the whole year. And I learned this drink actually for the Super Bowl after the 2022 season. So this was February 2023, and the Chiefs were playing in the first of their 3 straight Super Bowls. That's when I wanted to make a drink that was specifically associated with Kansas City. I looked it up, and this is what I came across. It's called the Kansas City Ice Water, and it's a great cocktail to make. You know, the Chiefs not only have made 5 out of the last 6 Super Bowls, they're also favored to make several more Super Bowls in the future, as long as they have Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. And not only that, the years they don't make the Super Bowl, they still do quite well. They make it quite far into the playoffs, and their games are always on TV. So if you love hosting not only Super Bowl parties, but also tailgates, playoff events, Monday Night Football, other things like that, then this is a great cocktail to know. And the other reason I think that even if you don't like football, even if you don't care anything about the Kansas City Chiefs or Kansas City in general, this is still a great cocktail to make because, in my opinion, it's a much better version of a vodka soda. And the vodka soda is a rather simple cocktail. It's a drink that a lot of you have probably ordered at a dive bar or a sports bar or something like that. It just contains vodka, soda water, and maybe a lime wedge. And this drink takes that simple concept and makes it, in my opinion, much more complex and much better tasting. And it uses the 5 ingredients here, so let's get into the recipe. This drink is going to call for vodka, gin, orange liqueur, lime juice, and then lemon lime soda. For the exact bottles that I'm using for this video and for this cocktail, this is going to be, these two are the absolute, in my opinion, the prototypical workhorse spirits for home bartenders. This is Tito's vodka, and this is Beefeater gin. In my opinion, they're must-haves for beginner home bartenders because they're readily available and quite affordable. This is Cointreau. In my opinion, if you could only have one orange liqueur as a home bartender, Cointreau is the one to have, and that's the one that I'm using for this cocktail. This is the Nelly & Joe's Key West lime juice, my absolute favorite bottled lime juice. And then finally, for lemon lime soda, there's quite a few options out there. Sprite is my personal favorite, and that's what I'm using for this video. A couple other options, Starry is the other big one out there. And then if you like your drink to be more on the sweeter side with more caffeine as well, then Mountain Dew is also a great option. So let's get into the recipe itself. This drink is going to call for 1 ounce of vodka, 1 ounce of gin, half an ounce of orange liqueur, half an ounce of lime juice, and then finally 3 ounces of lemon lime soda. Because it does contain a carbonated ingredient, we are going to be using my signature sandwich method. What that calls for is that the carbonated ingredient essentially acts as the bread of a sandwich. So I pour half of the carbonated ingredient into the glass first, then combine everything else into the shaker, shake it up, pour that on top, and then finally the other half of the carbonated ingredient will be on top of the rest of everything. The reason I like to do that for highballs and anything that contains carbonated ingredient is because I feel like it incorporates the carbonated ingredient throughout the entire drink as opposed to it just layering either at the bottom or the top. Okay, so let's get started with making the drink. As I mentioned, it's going to call for 3 ounces of lemon lime soda. So we'll pour the first 1.5 ounces into the glass, but before we do that, let's put a couple ice cubes in there. So start off with 3 ice cubes, 1.5 ounces of the Sprite, okay. As I mentioned, it's going to call for 1 ounce of vodka. We're going to be shaking up the other ingredients, so pour it into the shaker. That's mainly because the other ingredients do include a liqueur, which has sugar component, and then lime juice. So that's an ounce of gin. Then half ounce of your orange liqueur. And then finally, half ounce of lime juice. I'm gonna add another ice cube to the bigger tin. That's mainly so that it gets a good seal, so you don't end up spilling the drink. The coldness that the ice causes with the metal, it causes it to become even tighter and form a tighter seal. So give it a good seal, shake for about 8 to 12 seconds. Unlock the tin like that. And then we don't need the extra ice cube, so I'm just gonna strain it out. And then finally, another ounce and a half of the lemon lime soda. This will just go on top like that. And there you have it, the Kansas City ice water. Cheers. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing plenty more specific cocktail tutorials like this one. And I also do separate videos on tips and tricks for how to be a successful home bartender like myself. Thank you. Cheers.